Today we're here to talk about drug awareness among students making informed choices. Our aim is to spread awareness about how drug affects us, the risks involved, and how we can make better choices for a healthier future. This is especially important for students because teenage years are a time of curiosity, pressure, and decisions that can shape our lives. The reality behind drugs. Drugs are not just illegal substances. Even legal ones like alcohol or prescription pills can be harmful when misused. They affect the brain's chemistry. For example, drugs interfere with neurotransmitters, the chemicals that control mood, focus, and memory. And this can also cause temporary effects like feeling high, but long term use leads to brain damage, poor memory, and mental health problems. Behaviorally, drugs can make us impulsive, aggressive, or careless, which impacts safety, academics, and relationships. Type of drugs students should know. There are three main categories of drugs students often encounter: depressions, slow brain activity causing relaxation but also drowsiness. Example, alcohol, heroin, overuse may lead to coma or even death. Stimulants speed up brain activity, increasing energy but also causing stress and heart problems. Example, caffeine, nicotine, and cocaine. And hallucinogens distort reality, creating dangerous hallucinations. Examples, LSD, ecstasy, and mushrooms. These can also cause panic, fever, and long term psychological issues.
The hidden dangers of marijuana and vaping. Many young people believe that marijuana and vaping are harmless, but the truth is very different. Marijuana contains THC, which directly affects the brain. For students, this means poor memory, low concentration, and a lack of motivation. Over time, this can seriously hurt academic performance and personal growth. Even worse, regular use can increase the risk of mental health problems, including anxiety, depression, and even psychosis in vulnerable individuals. Vaping may look trendy, but it's equally dangerous. Vape liquids often contain nicotine, which is the most addictive substance. Once addicted, it becomes extremely hard to quit. On top of that, vaping introduces harmful chemicals into the lungs, which can lead to long-term health damages. So, while marijuana and vaping may seem harmless at first, they can trap young people in a cycle of addiction and health problems. Peer pressure and the wall of silence. One of the biggest reasons teenagers try drugs is peer pressure. When friends encourage you to try something, it can feel impossible to say no. We all want to fit in, and sometimes we fear rejection more than the risks involved. This leads to what is called the wall of silence. Students often avoid speaking up about drug use, whether it's their own or their friends, because they are embarrassed or afraid of being judged. But staying silent can have dangerous consequences. The truth is, it takes real courage to say no and break the silence. Building strong, trusted relationships with adults like parents, teachers, or mentors can make a huge difference. These are the people who will guide us and support us when peer pressure feels overwhelming. Real student voices after hearing Ian's story. Sometimes statistics and warnings don't make the message real. That's why personal stories are so powerful. In the presentation, students heard about Ian's story and their reaction were unforgettable. Some said, I will always remember this story and say no to drugs. Others realized that drugs affect all kind of kids, not just dropouts. And many came out saying, I now have a new attitude towards drugs and alcohol. His reactions show that the drugs do not discriminate, they can affect anyone. Hearing Anne's story helps students understand that prevention and personal responsibilities are key. When we connect emotionally with real experiences, the message to stay away from drugs becomes much more stronger.
The most important and common question of why teens try drugs. Now, we are here to talk about why teenagers try drugs. It's rarely just one reason. It's usually a mix of curiosity, escape from difficult feelings, media and peer influence, and some dangerous misconceptions too. First, curiosity. Teen brains are wired to explore. The reward system is extra sensitive during adolescence, which makes new experiences feel exciting. So, when someone hears it's fun or it's just once, curiosity can push them to try it, often without thinking through the consequences. Next comes the escape. Many teens aren't trying to be bad, they're just trying to feel better. Boredom after long days, stress from exams, family pressure or relationship, loneliness, anxiety or sadness, or even physical pain from sports injuries or headaches. Drugs can look like a shortcut, something that numbs or distracts for a while, but that relief is temporary. When the effect fades, the original problem is still there. Often worse, and the brain starts to link relief with the substance, raising the risk of repeated use. Healthcare escapes exist too. Music, sports, sleep, journaling, therapy, or talking to a trusted adult, and even a 20-minute walk. These don't give a quick high, but they build real coping skills and don't wreck your tomorrow to feel better today. Second, social media and peers. Movies, music, influencer content, and even memes often glamorize drug use. Parties look wild, everyone seems confident, and negative consequences rarely appear on screen. Algorithms can keep showing similar content, so it starts to feel normal. Then there's a peer influence, which comes in three forms: direct pressure, indirect pressure, and self pressure. All three are powerful, especially when you want to fit in. Here are easy refusal lines that work without drama. I'm training tomorrow, or not my thing, but you can do it, or just leave with a friend. Changing the environment is strongest refusal skill. Also remember, real friends respect boundaries. If someone pushes you even after you said no, that's not friendship, that's pressure. Next comes the misconceptions, the myths that make risky choices look safe. Everyone's doing it. If it's natural, it's safe. Prescription pills are safer because doctors give them. I can stop anytime. Trying it once won't matter. Vaping isn't harmful. It helps me to study or sleep. The truth is, simple shortcuts have side effects. Skills beat substances. If you remember just three things, remember this. Name your reason. If it's curiosity, get facts from trusted sources. If it's stress, use healthy coping tools and ask for support early. Know your scripts. A calm, practiced no thanks plus a reason, sports, health, family works. Leaving the situation works even better. Look out for friends. If someone's struggling, don't judge. Invite them out of the situation, share resources, and involve a trusted adult if there is danger. Real strength isn't about saying yes to everything. It's about protecting your future while you figure out who you want to be. Now that we've discussed why teens try drugs, let's look at the risk factors that can make someone more vulnerable. Remember, these factors do not guarantee drug use, but they do increase the chances, especially if support is missing. Friends who use drugs. One of the strongest influences is peer groups. If a teenager's close friends are experimenting with substances, the pressure to join in rises dramatically. Even if no one directly says try it, just being in that environment makes it harder to say no. Teens often fear being left out or judged, so association with peers who use drugs is one of the biggest predictors of whether someone will try them. The second factor is the family environment. A chaotic home, arguments between parents, lack of open communication, or parents who themselves use drug or alcohol, all of these create stress. When teens don't feel heard or supported at home, they may look outside for comfort or escape, and substances can appear to fill the gap. Strong family bonds, on the other hand, are one of the best protections. Another big risk factor is not having meaningful activities. When students don't have hobbies, sports, or other positive outlets, boredom and restlessness creep in. Drug can then look like a quick way to create excitement or relief. Engaging in clubs, art, fitness, or volunteer work not only fills free time but also builds confidence and purpose, making risky behavior less attractive. Finally, school performance can play a role. When students are struggling with grades, feel disconnected from school, or feel constant and self-loss esteem, drugs may then seem like an escape. A way to avoid the stress or numb the disappointment, but instead of helping, they usually make the performance worse, creating a cycle that's hard to break. So, to sum up, peer family issues, lacking of healthy outlets, and academic struggles are some of the main risk factors. These doesn't mean a person will definitely use drugs, but they highlight where the support is needed most. Teachers, parents, and friends who notice these risks early can step in, encourage healthier choices, and provide the care that truly makes a difference.
So in this slide, we are going to see about how to protect yourself and others. Empowering students with practical strategies for self-protection and peer support is essential for building a resilient drug-free community. Choose friends wisely, talk to your trusted adults, recognize overdose signs. Being prepared and having a strong support network are your best defenses against drug-related risks. So, in the conclusion, your choice matters. Say no and stay strong. Every decision you make profoundly shapes your future. By choosing health, hope, and strong support system, you actively build a brighter path for yourself. Remember Ayan's powerful story and courage it takes up to speak and make the right choices. Together, we have the collective power to foster environments where drug use is not the norm. Let's work hand in hand to build drug free schools and thriving supportive communities for everyone. Thank you.